Hi, seventh graders. This is Mrs. Arietta back for your day 6 video for your 10-day packet. It's Monday, March 30th, and let's go over what you have to do. So, independent reading. Read a book or article of your choice. Complete the reading log. That means write a paragraph, either summarizing it, talking about the theme, the characters, the plot, anything you want to do. I know you also have the choice of doing an illustration, but I keep encouraging doing writing as your reflection because it's good practice to write about whatever you've read. The next thing is source number 1 for this week's writing prompt. Source number 1 is titled, How to Help Students Create a Positive Digital Footprint. You're going to annotate, highlight, and underline the important ideas as necessary. Then we're going to start our next writing prompt, which is an explanatory article. You're going to begin brainstorming and writing down main ideas for your explanatory article and compose a rough draft of your thesis statement. So let's talk about this writing prompt. Your computer class is preparing for a technology fair at your school. The technology fair will focus on the impact of the information age. For your part in the fair, you need to help students, parents, and teachers understand digital footprints. Using more than one source, develop a thesis or controlling idea to explain the impact of digital footprints. Once you have a thesis or controlling idea, select the most relevant information from more than one source to support your thesis or controlling idea. Clearly organize your article and elaborate your ideas. Develop your ideas and use your own words except when quoting directly from the sources. Be sure to reference the sources. So let me break this down for you from my point of view. We have a hypothetical where you're not just writing an essay, you're writing an article for a specific purpose. You need to make sure you keep in mind that your audience will be students, parents, and teachers at this technology fair that the school is holding. So make sure you're keeping your audience in mind. Even though we're only reading one source today, it still wants you to start working on your thesis statement. So we're going to talk about that in a second, and we will organize your ideas to make sure that you're conveying a solid point about digital footprints. And hopefully this first source will help explain for you what it means by digital footprint. When we're grading your essay, we're going to look for certain things. So organization and purpose. Remember those stars and bars? Try to make one for your article. It will help it logically flow from beginning to end. Also, make sure that you have one clear thesis statement where when I read that one sentence, I know exactly what your topic is about. So we're going to work on the thesis statement today, and you need to make sure that you're communicating with me and the rest of your audience that you are talking about digital footprints and how to form a good one, and why they are important. Next is evidence and elaboration. You're going to have several sources, 3 sources and an infographic, I believe, right? Or just 3 sources. I don't know for sure. So think like a normal essay in school. You should have 2 sources with citations for each body paragraph in most essays. And that includes either the author's last name or the article name and a page number. For this one, you can just put source number 1, 2, or 3. And then lastly, check your grammar, spelling, capitalization, and punctuation. Independently, before we move on, you need to read source number 1. As you read the text, annotate it with a highlighter or a pen or a pencil. You should be looking specifically for what is a digital footprint? How do we build it or create it? What it means for students, parents, and teachers, because that's your target audience, and what is the overlying moral of the article? Like, what point are they trying to get across to their audience? Use the notes page that comes after it to write down what you found out about digital footprints and what you think your essay is going to be about. Leave room at the bottom of that page so that we can start writing your thesis statement. So go ahead and pause this video if you have not yet done this. Pause, read the article and annotate it as you go, and then write a quick reflection about what the article says. All right, I'm going to move on to thesis statements. So we've already done this before. We did this last week. You're going to write a thesis statement for your informative article or essay. It is important that you Make your point clearly and precisely. From reading this one sentence, there should be no doubt what your essay or article is about. Connect all of the topics. You can either list what each of your body paragraphs will cover, or you can keep your statement general enough that all of your body paragraphs will fit. For this one, I feel like either one will work perfectly fine. Don't write about your writing. Please don't say the word I, me, my, you, your, yours, or we, us, our. And don't just focus on one detail or example. As always, I've written some example thesis sentences for you. Here is an example of a good thesis statement. And keep in mind that I have chosen an alternate prompt for myself so that I'm not just handing anyone a thesis statement. This is not the prompt's thesis statement. This is not following your prompt. This is my own related thesis statement. Social media, when used appropriately, can be a valuable tool for students because it improves media literacy, gives students a chance to be better communicators, and provides fun. So I might have had a typo in there, but in this hypothetical, you can tell very clearly that my essay is going to be about social media and its positive impact, its benefits for students. And I listed 3 specific reasons why it matters. So it improves media literacy. That's reading and writing online, giving students a chance to be communicators. So without saying that it's for socializing, it's really what I've said. It's about socializing better and providing fun. So I have 3 body paragraphs clearly defined what I'm going to be talking about, and you can tell that I'm writing about social media in a good way. That's just one example of a good thesis statement. A bad thesis statement for the same prompt using the same information might sound something like this. In my essay, I am going to talk about Facebook and Instagram and how kids should use it for school because they get to talk to their friends and learn to read good and it's fun. It's all the same information as the first one, but I've worded it in a way that is awful on purpose so you can see several mistakes in one. First of all, never talk about your writing. In my essay, an essay should never refer to itself. Also, don't use the word I, like I am going to talk about. Don't do it. Just go into the main point of your thing. I said Facebook and Instagram, and I did not capitalize them even though they should be capitalized to show that if you're getting too specific, you're missing the big picture, the main points. It's not just about Facebook and Instagram. This essay is supposed to be about social media, and I've narrowed it too much, and now it's not as academic. It wasn't even formatted correctly because they're not capitalized. So that's a big no-no there. And how kids should use it for school. Kids is kind of a casual word. Students or children would be better, but you don't want to refer to students as kids. It's not academically appropriate. And then we have our reasons, because they get to talk to their friends. That's very, very specific, and it's not helping make the point. It kind of limits what I can talk about in that first body paragraph. If I had said communication skills, then I'm opening it up to communicating with parents and teachers online as well, and not just their peers. I have learned to read good. It should be read well because read is a verb, and so we need the adverb well, not the adjective good, to describe how we read. And it's also not sounding as academic. If I had said learn to read well, I might have allowed it, but learn to read good is not quite the same thing as media literacy. And it's fun. Well, first of all, this list was a run-on because I said and twice. And it's fun is not very academic sounding. It would still be introducing the body paragraph, but generally this whole sentence is a bad thesis statement. You don't want it to look like this. So I want you to use these examples of what to do and what not to do to try to write a rough draft of your thesis statement about digital footprints, not social media, and why it's important for students, parents, and teachers to know how to use it and form it properly. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, please comment or email me, and I will always be happy to help you out. Hopefully we can get into day 2 early tomorrow morning, and we'll start outlining your informative or explanatory article. With that, I think that's it for the day. Have a great rest of your Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!